John Eric Poli here from My MMA News, and I'm being joined now by Los Angeles Angels manager Joe Maddon. And Joe, you're a big boxing fan. You're here in your hometown putting on your second annual Maddon's Main Event. But before we even get into that, for everyone that's in the boxing and MMA world that maybe isn't familiar with the Respect 90 Foundation, why don't you talk a little about the foundation first and what all you do?
Yeah, the foundation, briefly, we put it together a couple years ago. Respect 90 is a distance from home plate to first base, and respect begins at home. So Jay and I got together, created the foundation. The umbrella covers the Hazleton Integration Project. It covers pediatric cancer research. It covers Thanksmas, our attempt to help the homeless, and a couple other items. And then, of course, now boxing. We started in Chicago. Crushers Club and the Chicago Youth Boxing. We had an event there the last 3 years, I think, in Chicago. We didn't do it this year because of dates and whatever, but the Respect 90, we try to umbrella all these different groups, and we keep getting bigger, and tonight's a big part of it. And
one of the things you mentioned that you guys do is with pediatric cancer. I know you have a shirt there in your hand. I don't know if you want to roll that out there. Yeah. The proceeds tonight help Jordan's Army. Why don't you explain about Jordan's Army and a little bit about these proceeds tonight?
This is Louis Barletta's grandson, and this came to be a couple of months ago. Louis texted me and gave me the news, and I was not equally devastated, but pretty devastated. And then from that, I don't remember the exact name of the disease, but it's very rare. Jordan's like, I think, 18 months old right now. And so we started this, tonight's proceeds are going to go specifically to Jordan's Army, and we're going to attempt to get his foundation going in order to raise more awareness for this particular disease. Awful cancer, like I said, really rare. So tonight's our kickoff to raise money for that and to also raise awareness regarding the illness that Jordan has.
And Joe, how's a baseball coach get into boxing? Where did your boxing roots come from?
Brother, you know, kid growing up, when you asked me that question, the best I could describe it, I think it was 63 or 60, whatever, two, and Liston fought Cassius Clay in Miami. And I was laying on the floor with the Channel Master transistor radio, listening to that fight from Miami. That's the part of what's going on in the world today, is that your imagination just leapt regarding laying on the floor, listening to something like that. Everything was so magnificent. And then from that, you know, Ali, he becomes Ali, and from that, the eventual Joe Frazier's, the George Foreman's, Larry Holmes, Easton Assassin, and everything in between that. My dad was a big fan. We used to watch the Friday night Gillette fights. I remember seeing Emil Griffin fight Reuben Hurricane Carter on the Friday night fight. My dad would have Cheez-Its, and we would fry pepperoni and watch the fight. So it's probably a lot of warm fuzzies involved, and it's about the discipline. For me right now, what's going on in the world, it's about discipline, having to show up and becoming a part of a team. And for all those different reasons, I think it's a great discipline for a lot of youth, and it's an inexpensive way. It's about you showing up, being tough, and being on time.
And obviously you're a big fan of Ali. Not far from here in your hometown of Hazleton, Deer Lake Training Facility, famously known for Muhammad Ali's training camps. Have you gotten a chance to take a ride up and check it out yet?
Not really. I've been in the area. Actually, I got to know Angelo Dundee pretty well before Angelo passed. Angelo lived down in St. Petersburg. He was Muhammad Ali's trainer. And then, of course, Booty Beltrami used to hang out down there also. And I was there the night that Ali fought at Harman Guy Stadium. Nice. I can't remember what year that was, but he put on an exhibition before he went to fight one of his regular fights. Listen, it doesn't get better than that. It really doesn't. I mean, I just talking to Jay, I just got this from you guys. I got the DVR regarding Angela Park. The kids of today do not have the same opportunities that we did. I'll argue that with anybody. They don't have a chance to be a kid on their own and learn to grow on their own. So these are the kind of things, man, whatever we can do to have them put down a video game, give their thumbs a rest, and go outside and exercise a bit, I'm all for it.
And then, are you still a boxing fan? Do you follow it today too, or no?
I'm not. I don't want to misrepresent myself. I don't know exactly what's going on in the world.
Me and Tim just had a great conversation about it. That's why I wanted to. Wondering.
I am really a nostalgic boxing fan. You know, our world with baseball and all, is particularly in the summertime. I got the blinders on, and I've met different boxers, absolutely, but I have not paid as close of attention. I'd be disingenuous if I told you otherwise.
Okay, well, you know, Joe, I know you don't have a lot of time here, so I do want to get some baseball questions. We're going to talk about boxing and baseball here.
Good outfit, by the way.
Yeah, oh, thank you. So let's get into your new job here. You're going back to LA after just spending some time in Chicago, winning a World Series there. How happy are you to be going back to LA, where you were bench coach for quite some time there, and were a part of their World Series team in 2002?
That was also my first year as a professional player. Was 1976.
Okay.
My first spring training was with the California Angels in Holtfield, California. 1976. I signed in 75. So I went to Hazleton High, Lafayette College, and I became a California Angel. And I get a chance to be one again. Really fortunate for that to happen to me. To get back to really excited. I mean, my gosh, I love the area. My wife Jay's from that area. I spent a bench coach there from 94, part of, not bench coach, but a coach from 94 to 2005 before I went to the Devil Rays, and then the Cubs, and now back. So great history there. I know everybody out there. I learned how to play and coach baseball from those Southern California coaches and mentors. These guys were the best. Fundamentally sound, tough, like Adam Saminsky tough, these as baseball coaches. So I was very fortunate.
And a lot of Philly fans around this area, they were very upset. What was ultimately, were you offered anything with the Phillies? What was the decision-making process there for you in the offseason?
I knew I wanted to go to Anaheim, so when the season was over, my agent Alan Nero, who happens to be here tonight, we called all the different teams that were interested. I let them know that I wanted to find out if the Angels were interested first. And if they were, I did not want to waste everybody else's time and get in anybody else's way. Again, to go do an interview, just to do an interview, knowing that you'd rather be somewhere else, I didn't think was the right way to do it. So had the Angels not happened, I probably would have interviewed for some other jobs.
Okay. And then two things for you. You know, again, back with the Angels there. There's some pieces there with the Angels. You got Mike Trout, hell of a young player there. Albert Pujols is still there.
Rendon,
exactly.
Right.
Yeah, nice pickup there. What is it that you're going to have to do? You know, you've been successful everywhere that you went. The Angels, they've been waiting for a while now to get this winning culture back. How do you, get a winning culture back in LA?
Really, I do want to turn back the clock here a little bit. We were the best minor league organization in the 80s into the 90s. I was running it at that time. I'm not saying it for that reason. Great scouting, great player development, some really wonderful direction to culminate in the championship in 2002, but a lot of good seasons in between there. It was a methodology, a way we played the game. There was an aggressiveness about it. There was a fearlessness about it. Those are the kind of things I want to be more aware of, more concerned with, as opposed to somebody spin on a fastball.
And then, Judge, the last thing for you. I remember when you were coaching the Devil Rays and you guys won the World Series, it was like such a big deal for Northeastern Pennsylvania that somebody from NEPA was in the World Series. Well, since then now, Russ Kanzler, he finally made a crack out into the pros. Now, recently we had Matt Wotherspoon, a Crestwood grad. He ended up getting into he had a brief little stint in the pros this year. Ray Black, a Coughlin grad, played with the Brewers. Nice. Corey Spangenbergen with the Brewers.
He had a nice year. Corey had a nice year. He hurt us a little bit in Milwaukee this year, by the way.
Well, I wanted to say, Northeastern Pennsylvania, baseball's been getting better and better in this area. What is it about NEPA with baseball that kind of sticks out to you?
Well, I mean, the biggest problem we have is just length of the season. And then summer programs also, and giving kids opportunity. It's about creating opportunity for kids to play and giving them a great venue to play and supporting them. That's it. I mean, when I grew up, we had a lot of nice young players here also. I would just like to see, even in our city here, more opportunity right here. I've been talking to our guys at the Hazleton Integration Project. We need to provide more opportunities for the kids at the center to be able to play baseball, and the kids in the city. This is one time I do like organized leagues in the summertime. Grown-ups giving of their time, mentoring the group, providing an opportunity for these kids to play. Go out and work all day, and they go play baseball about 5:30, 6 o'clock. That's what we did all the time. And there's a discipline, there's a commitment, and also there's a desire to play. It's about opportunity. We have to create more opportunities for them to get out there and play.
All right, Joe, thanks for your time. We appreciate it here.
Appreciate it, man.
And remember, everyone, keep reading everything on My MMA News.